Alright, so this is the answer for tutorial 4. I don't think I'll have time to go through this in class, so I'm just going to give you the solution like this so that you can have a look at your answers on your own time. Okay, so yeah, so this is Mendelian genetics, all those things that we learned about Punnett square and stuff. Alright, so let's look at question 1. We have two breeding parents crossed similarly to Mendel's P generation. Big clue over there. When you see P generation, we are referring to purebreds. Purebreds mean that they need to be homozygous. Homozygous. Okay, so what that means is that every gene comes with a pair of alleles, and in a homozygous gene, it needs to have two alleles that's exactly the same. Okay, they can't have different pairing. So in that case, we have a tall plant crossing with a short plant. Let's call tall allele as T, and the short allele, let's call it S. Okay, and then I can proceed to do my Punnett square, which would mean that this is a very simple monohybrid square. Monohybrid just means we're just looking at one trait, whether it's tall or short. Okay, we're looking at height. Now what happens now is that we need two parents, one over here and one over here. So tall crossing with short. So tall means it needs to be T, T. Short needs to be S, S. So when I do the cross, the first box would be TS, second box will also be TS, and the third box will also be TS, and last one also TS. So this is essentially what my F1 generation is, which is the next generation. The question is, what is the expected outcome of the F1 generation? What is it going to look like? We don't have an answer. In this question, we actually do not have an answer because I didn't give you something very vital. I didn't tell you which one is dominant and which one is recessive. I didn't give you this very big thing. So I can't just assume that one of these fellas are going to be small letters. I can't. So without that information, I really don't know what it's going to look like. So say for example, example 1, looking at the F1 generation, it's TS. Say both of them are dominant. Then the alleles are going to compete with each other, and the outcome is going to be medium height. Not tall, not short, somewhere in between. And the next one, if I have capital T and I make my short allele the recessive one, this will make the plant tall. However, in another case, if I were to make the short allele the more dominant one, it's going to end up looking like that, and this will make the plants short. Okay, so you see where I'm going with this. Without this very vital information, whether I don't know which allele is dominant or recessive, I am unable to tell anyone what this Punnett square actually means. Okay, I can just give you the alleles, but I really don't know which what the plants are going to look like. So we do not have an answer for question 1. If you figured it out, good for you. If you didn't, then you just assumed one of it is dominant and one of it is recessive, and that's wrong. Okay, so please look out for this in other questions. Now moving on, the next question. If the cross from question 1, so we're going to use the same fellas from question 1. Okay, we're going to continue with crossing them, and we're going to find out what's going to happen in the F2 generation, which is F1 crossing to give me the F2 generation. So for this one, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to make T dominant. just going to use, I didn't give it to you in the question, but I'm going to give it to you for simplicity's sake. And I'm going to make the S recessive. Okay, so if I'm going to cross both my F1s, my Punnett square is going to look like that. Okay, my first parent is going to be a capital T and a small s, and my second parent is also a capital T and a small s. So when these cross, the first box is going to give me TT, my second box is going to give me a capital T and a small s. My third box would give me a capital T and a small s as well. And my last one is going to give me two small s's. Okay, so now because I've given you this information, it's easy for me to tell you what the plants are going to look like. This one's going to be tall, this one's going to be tall, this one's going to be tall, and we have the shorties here. Okay, so that's how it's going to be like. So if I had used exactly what my example was like, the answer would have been that. However, the story can completely change if I decided to switch them around. Okay, so make sense of this. If you switch it around, then all of these things will also change along with it. Okay, that was question 2. Question 3 now. If a plant has got round seeds, and this parent, some grammatical error there, but anyway, the round seeded plant has got a parent that has wrinkled seeds, what is its genotype? Okay, so we're gonna look for, and then they gave you vital information. Have a look. They gave you this: round is dominant. So let's mark out our alleles first. We've got seed. What the seeds look like? They're either round, horrendous handwriting, but yeah, so that's capital R for round, and let's make small r for wrinkled. I'm not exactly following what the answer key is giving over here. I'm just going to use my own example and my own alleles over here. Okay, so let's use this. One of the parent, obviously when you make a Punnett square, we need two parents. Yeah, we'll need one over here, and we already know something that one of them, let's make the R blue. Okay, so we already know that one of the parents is wrinkled. For a parent to be wrinkled when round is dominant, there is only one way that it can happen, like so. It needs to be small r, then only it can be wrinkled. Okay, but the children on the other hand were all round, so the chances are, this is what happened with the kids. They ended up being big R, small r, big R, small r. Make sense of this as I'm giving you the solutions. Small r and big R, small r. Oh my goodness. Erase that. Give you a small r. Okay, so each of the quadrants needs to get an allele from the second parent, but they all ended up being round. Every single one of them was round. So you know that the capital R was present. So the only way that can be done is if the parent was RR. Okay, so this parent was RR, and this parent was small r. So we had a purebred round seeded homozygous plant, and we had a purebred wrinkled homozygous plant crossing with one another. Okay, so we had these two crossing, and each of the generations that followed, they were all round seeded, exactly what the question was saying. So what was its genotype?